Hey there, gamers. Welcome back to Banished Soul Scripted Gaming here. So, we had a few questions about the Empire Management again last night and wanted to address some of those. And then also the warehouse management. What do I keep in my warehouse and how do I keep my warehouse organized to have room? So, we'll go over that in the video today. So, first question was how many locations can you assign a ship? Well, you can take a ship and assign it to any location you want. You can keep reassigning it. Now, that doesn't mean it'll automatically pick up at those locations. So we're going to show you here at GWE here. As you can see, it's getting pretty close to needing to be harvested. So we're going to go to manage manufacturing. There's no ship currently on that. But what I do is I have quite a few ships built, usually up to level 11. You don't have to go much higher than that. And what you're looking for is you're just looking for a location that's pretty well empty, like that one there. So then it says we can reassign. So let's reassign the ship. That sends that ship to GWE. And that's how I do my ships and how I do my pickups now, mostly. Now, there are some locations where you can come in and auto collect, just collect your profit, no big deal. And then, as you can see, there's some areas that you will have to manually collect or set a ship to go pick that up. So that's what I'm doing now. When I fund them up, I just look to see which factories are almost full versus which ones have plenty of room and just reassign the ship. And that ship will continue to pick that location up until you tell it to do something else. Same thing here, we'll do it again for you. We're just coming in, we're reassigning a ship. Any ship, it doesn't matter. Any ship you're not planning to use, just reassign it. Okay, looks like we got another location here. Apparently there's a ship en route to this spot. Looks like it's got 4 minutes to go collect, so we don't have anything to worry about on that one. Make sure everything else is funded here. Looks like we got a few more on this side here. And I usually will check and see what locations are popping up in something like this. If it's just a gilded raider chest, you can take and get those and collect them, and sometimes find a helm lease in there. Now, I can only speak for myself. I've not had a lot of luck of getting helm leases from those boxes this season. I stacked quite a few from last season and opened up probably 30 of them at the beginning of season 3 and got like 4 helm leases, which I guess isn't too bad. But since that, I've not been able to get anything. So my recommendation is stack those, use them at the beginning of a season. It seems to be the when the better payout is for a helm lease is at the beginning of a season. So okay, so this got that. It doesn't hurt to also check and see what buyouts you've got. So Gilded Raider cash. So again, that could be potentially a box that would give you a location. What used to happen is you would end up getting Gusini. So that's probably something in this boundary, maybe. Maybe not. There's the lumber yard for it. Can be lumber yard. But yeah, it'll show you the reward if you already own that location. It's a level 7. We've got it bumped up to 7 already, so we just would get a box from it. But that's got that. So we're going to go over to the warehouse. I want to show you this warehouse management system here. Now, a couple ways you can access your warehouse. You can access it through the managed cargo, or you can go to the warehouse. I usually just do managed cargo. As you can see, we got a few things. So we ended up getting Phoenix Talents after we built the Sisette. We ended up getting that to drop from from Lee last night. Excuse me, guys. I got a bit of a frog in my throat this morning here. Okay, so what am I keeping? I am keeping basically any of the important stuff that we may need: upgrade parts, Jade Phoenix statues, Phoenix beaks, Phoenix pinions, and of course any kind of weapons that we get. Move that to the warehouse. Silver boxes, I automatically open those. I very rarely will actually store silver boxes anymore. Typically, when I'm in here, I don't keep a lot of food. This is just stuff that builds up. So when it comes to, say, bitter balling, I don't usually keep that. I don't keep the toolings, coffee. Now I know that those things hold some, some value to some folks, but like I say, you ask me what I do. I only keep certain things. Typically, I keep bananas. I don't typically keep durian and stuff, but we do have some grilled banana, grilled durian, so we'll hang on to it. Water barrels, a lot of that I rarely use, but I've got those in a water flask if you need it. That's more or less for if I decide to do PvP. Again, we keep the repair kits. I do keep repair kit 3s, and I keep enhanced repair kit 3s as well. Mainly because eventually we're going to get large ships, and I want to make sure I keep those on hand because you're going to need them for those large ships. Of course, weaponry, any kind of ballista bolts, anything like that, we try to keep. Buoy shells. When it comes to raw materials, a lot of the stuff like green heart, ironwood, your higher end stuff, I usually try to keep some of that on hand. The teak wood stuff, I don't typically keep a lot of the raw materials of that. I will keep refined planks, mostly refined goods. Every now and then I'll keep some the green heart and ironwood just because it's in the inventory. But I try to keep everything refined into ingots or lumber. Now that can bite you. There are some missions if you run a lot of buyouts that'll require like the raw materials, so you'll have to go back and recollect it. So that's why I kind of look to see what it is that's typically coming up. Cobalts, bog iron, things like that come up quite a bit in trade. I hang on to that kind of stuff. The lower end, like the teak wood, I convert it over to planks. Hang on to the planks. That's about it. Cobalt ingots, zinc ingots, things like that. Bronze ingots, you keep a lot of that stuff. It's up to you if you want to keep a lot of the materials for that as well, like the raws. Like I say, I typically do not. Then of course your cog wheels, glass, screw mechanisms, wood tar. Keep as much of that as you can. Lightning scales. Not really sure what that's used for yet, but we've got it in case we need it. As you see, I mean, it's the basic stuff. Do we need to keep these black Aria swords and stuff like that? I'm not sure. I know that there's a torpedo set that we built with them. That may be something where it brings these parts back into the game later. So, like I said, I usually just hang on to it. The Hubach heirloom, I hang on to it just in case I end up needing it for something. I mean, there was some crafting in Season 2 that required those parts. It could be something where it requires those parts and some other parts to build something later. We don't know what they're going to throw at us later in the game. So I hang on to as much of that stuff as possible. Now, when it comes to commodities, such as like your vanilla, ambergris, the wines, the brandy, stuff like that. I used to sell a lot of this. Now what I do is I definitely hang on to the brandy. I definitely hang on to the wines, the tobacco, in the crates and stuff like that. The reason for that is typically these are used in trading for your buyout locations. That's one of the reasons why I hang on to that stuff. So I hang on to commodities. Then, of course, our capital relics. These are from various locations across the map, military relics. Then your skull products, which would be your wine or your moonshine, your gin, rum, the snuff, and then the opium and stuff. So you've got that as well. Then, of course, any kind of weapons that I may decide to hang on to, I'll keep them. So here's our legacy caches. I keep those just in box form, and if I end up needing some weapons coming into Season 4, I'll open that up just to see what I can get, because a lot of times you can get the previous season's weapons through those. So that's a great way to expend some of those pieces of 8 that you can only carry 300,000. You need something to spend it on. So when you're not spending it on the Eels Twine and the Gannet Saltpeter and stuff like that, buy those legacy cache boxes. And of course, Kingpin chests. I don't typically get anything worth getting out of that, but we hang on to them because we've got everything we need anyway. You might end up getting some sort of a weapon out of it later, so hang on to those. When it comes to weapons, it's up to you if you hang on to anything you're not using. Fire long guns, repair long guns. These are some things that I weed out. Darnell guns, we'll hang on to those. Bonds make threes. We can build them, but we'll hang on to it. But a lot of that stuff I've been deconstructing as I need, as I need to. You don't have to get rid of that stuff, but it does give you extra space in your warehouse, guys. So something else you can check is look and see if you got any excess armor sitting around, crap that you don't need. So Celestial Dance, I actually prefer that one. I like that pretty good. The Immortal Vessel's pretty decent. Of course, Buccaneer's Oath, got quite a few of those now. Stormwoven Symphony, we got 3 of those. We got Rhapsody of the Deep, Wrathful Ward 6, Black Prince 6, Royal Custodians. We're back up to 16 of those. I thought we'd gave most of those away here a while back, but they're dropping again. So I mean, it's one of those things. Well, we got it. It's not a bad armor to have. So I just hang on to that kind of stuff because mainly some of our guys might need it. So if you're part of our Discord group and you're needing some of that armor, kick me a message, man. Like I said, we got quite a bit of stuff set back. Tuning station. So we got a tuning station. This one here works for your torpedoes pretty nicely. Just been kind of stacking up furniture. Most of the furniture is stuff that we've got on our other ships. And then there's a lot of it that's just, whatever's dropping. And typically if there's furniture, if I need room, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to clear this furniture out. Just only stuff that I need. So it's been a while since I've come in there and finished a lot of that out. So we may go back in there. So looks like we got Zang's Claw that needs to be turned in still. We'll move that to cargo. Then of course some different charts. Our rare commodities. Yeah, so that was one of those things where I had like 400 of them. We're down to 83 somehow. So again, this is one of the things where it pays to go in and check your resources, guys. Keep an eye on your warehouses between maintenance schedules and stuff. I definitely recommend you do that. Because you'll come in and you'll see where like one day you've got like 400 or something. So like we had quite a bit at Worm's Breath, and then all of a sudden the rest of the materials start to go down. But when you buy together, you should have pretty close to the same amount. So that's something you're going to have to keep an eye on in the game. Just keep an eye on your inventory. Always do screenshots. Xbox is simple as hitting a button on the controller. For PlayStation, you can do screenshots on that too. I'm sure when it comes to computers, you can hit print screen or something like that to do a screenshot. I don't know. It's been a while since I've messed around with computers and games. So that's something that you hardcore gamers on the PCs definitely comment how to do screenshots. I do recommend that you do that. So, but that's basically what I keep. Like I say, the first thing I'll sacrifice is furniture if I need extra room. So we got 229 of 250 full, which leaves us 20 slots. So there's really no dire need to get rid of stuff. But if I was go in here and want to get rid of some stuff, the first thing I'm going to dump is Ballista Works. Anything to do with Ballista. Why? Because I don't use Ballista at all. So like that Ballista grinder there, don't use it. Don't need it. Now, if it's a rare furniture, I don't care if it's something that I'm going to use or not. I hang on to it because someone else might need it. But this crap that you can build and, find just, sailing down the sea, I'll usually kind of toss it. So we opened up a couple new slots there too. So, 227 to 250. So that's typically what I do. I hope that kind of helps a little bit better, as far as that's what I keep. Everyone can keep what they want. I recommend getting your products up, but not taking everything to gold level, like your gin and your skull rum. I mean, if you take everything up to gold, well, there's some things that cost white skull or white gin. So then you're kind of having to do like I am, which is to go back and build the lower end stuff. Of course, Imperial Jade. Save up as much of that as you can. Get as much of it as you can. It's just like any other commodity item as far as like your tobacco and stuff. We'll go over here to the smuggler's den, show you where you can pick that up. And every time you renew your contracts, you should be able to get at least one piece of jade, or at least one jade contract. I should, be a little more specific on that here. So as you can see, roving up, I'll come in here and I'll pick up these jade deals first, and then I'll pick up the rest of this stuff. Alright, so this got all of our stuff. And of course, if you've ever seen me do this before, you know what we're fixing to do. We're going to change out our ship. We're going to put a larger ship in first. So here's our battle junk. Like I said, I've got 38 of 40 ships. Typically, I try not to go over 38. I definitely won't go over 39. As they release a new ship, I'll delete an old ship that I don't use, except for pickups. I delete that stuff, and I'll keep it right around that 38. The reason for that is they had a glitch in the past where when you got to 40 ships, as you was upgrading, you would lose a ship. And I don't know if that's still happening. I know that I lost a brigantine and a sloop here in season 3, or not a sloop, a brigantine and a battle bark here in season 3. We managed to get our battle bark back, but still waiting to get our brigantine back. So that's one of the things still waiting on. But I don't really use a brigantine much, so I wasn't too upset about it. But that's just me, guys. It's up to you if you want to try and carry 40. Now, there's some guys that are carrying 40 and they don't have a problem at all. So they probably have fixed it. But like I said, I just always rather be safe than sorry. The reason I look at it that way is it took 3 weeks to get a ship back, man. And I'm not all about waiting 3 weeks to get what I've already worked to build. So. Okay, so now, if you're new to getting the resources stuff, maybe just your first video, your first time you've ever checked out this game, here's what you do. You are a pirate. Remember that in this game. How you play this game is totally up to you. What I do whenever I go to do a pickup for any kind of manufacturing materials. If you ever played games like Red Dead Redemption or anything like that, or GTA stuff, you had it where you could go and you can buy the materials, or you could steal the materials. Well, the same is true of this. You can come up here and you can pay this liaison. We'll show you where he's at here. You can pay him silver, or you can sink him and take what he brought for sale, which is what I do. And the same thing if you go to sell your product to the helm, you can sell it to him, or you can just sink him and take the money that they brought to buy your stuff. And that's I don't sell anything. I hang on to everything. I will sell commodities at times to make room in the warehouse. But like I say, typically I'm deconstructing furniture for space or selling that stuff off. That's kind of the way I like to do stuff now. All right. So that will have completed all those contracts. And as soon as those refresh, seems like it used to be in every hour. And I've heard rumors that it's every 30 minutes now. I don't know. I usually check every hour whenever I'm stacking up materials and stuff. And I will run those every hour just to try and get that stuff up. Or when I've logged in, I run it when I first come into the game. And I run it before I log off. So I could say it's up to you how you do the gameplay, but definitely be getting that Imperial Jade. Mainly because I don't know what it's going to be used for in the future, but it's got quite a bit of use here in Season 3. I mean, it's a currency that you can use for Blackwood, so looks like it's something that's worthwhile, in my opinion. So. All right. So what we're going to do is move that stuff back to our warehouse cache. Go to manage cargo again. Select the stuff we want to put in cargo. Or in our warehouse. Now I do need to go over to Blackwood, I think, and turn some of these quests in. That's probably one of the things I'm the worst about, is completing quests and then not turning the stuff in until, you know, a day or two later. I think the reason for that is that I've gotten used to playing in teams, and typically you'll have someone that runs and turns that stuff in. Okay, let us... Okay, so there's no message there for him. That may actually turn in up there to Rema, maybe? Let's see. What did we turn this stuff into? I guess we turned that in maybe to Rema. That's what we're going to go see real quick. I guess that's why it's important to turn that stuff in. Like, right after you run the mission, so you remember who it goes to. It might be to this Blackwood. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, so it does matter which Blackwood you go to. Yeah, man. We got one more to turn in, bro. All right. That's some decent stuff. Not sure what that Harmony Flies is. Is that a... I don't know if that's a flag or what that is. Yeah, we could have probably saved that, but we went ahead and opened it. All right, get that garbage over there. Move this over. Okay, so it looks pretty good there. I don't think I've got any more missions from Rema. We're gonna go double check. But I've actually been enjoying the storyline. It seems like it's got nice little... I think I've got it figured out, like I said in one of the other videos, but it seems like it's gonna have a little surprise ending here. Well, it's aiming for a surprise ending, I guess I should say. Nope. So no new ones on there. So that'll be next week. So what's today? Sunday, I believe. Let's check our phone here. Yeah, today's Sunday. So Tuesday morning we should have a new addition to the mission. So kind of looking forward to that. We'll see how this thing turns out. Then of course you have your bounty boards and stuff. But I hope this video has been helpful to you. I hope it's kind of give you some ideas for your warehouse. I hope it's showed you a little more about the empire management in the game as well. There's a lot of great stuff in the game to really explore. So y'all have a great day. We're gonna hop off here.